Welcome back to Shelf Candy. Today, Chris is gonna paint Dr. Doom and his regal toilet. So let's get cracking.
Shelf Candy!
To start, it's only appropriate we use this burnt flesh and one of Chris's wife's makeup brushes to paint the bricks. We're gonna really slop this on. Chris wants good coverage for this base coat. He isn't worried about the surrounding areas. Yet. Then he is gonna jump right to the highlights and be a little more focused on the edges. This base is gigantic. Chris would have preferred to print this larger than 1/6 scale, but this platform took up the entire print bed, and we all know Chris is too lazy to slice it up to print it bigger. Now let's lay down a couple washes. Probably doesn't have to be a couple. Chris just wasn't very happy with the first one. That means he fucked up. It came out a little too orange. That means he fucked up. So he's gonna tone it down with some umber. After this, hit it with a matte clear coat. That'll darken it a little and protect it during the next step. Masking. Why aren't you using silly putty, you say? Well, sometimes tape is faster and sometimes plastic wrap is even faster than that. Now that we have desecrated this guild-approved masking with unsanctioned plastic wrap, we can paint the rug. Starting with pink, we will lay down a base, focusing on the upward-facing surfaces. Now this dark red will be painted into the areas we want to be dark red. Then unsurprisingly, we will switch to bright red ink for the areas we want to be bright red. I know this is all highly technical, but try to keep up. And just like that, the red part of the rug is done. Now it's time to remove the masking. And yes, the paint is still wet. Chris lives dangerously. He's not a rule-following robot like Glenn over there at the Toledo Painters Guild. We'll remove our masking however we damn well please. Fuck you, Glenn. Let's just check the fitment of this super fancy toilet. Perfect. Who's ready for some more dry brushing? Chris is gonna use this Citadel Sigmarite for the rug details. It's worth noting, this stuff leaves a lot of dry particulate all over the place as it dries. Because of this, he has resorted to using more masking tape. These nice long runs of straight edges make this a no-brainer. Really lets him aggressively work it onto the edges too. Nice. You can reuse the same piece over and over again too. Just keep moving it to each section you're about to work on. Now's a good time to mention that nearly 100% of people on planet Earth are not subscribed to this channel.
What?
So if you want to stand out and not be a lame robot like Glenn, smash that subscribe button. And while you're down there, just go ahead and take a look at that like button too. Check it for me. Make sure it's working. Now while that dries, let's start on the toilet itself. Same process as the rug. Chris will begin with pink and paint from above where light would be hitting the backrest. Then using the same reds as before, he will paint the dark red from the bottom and the bright red from the top. Easy peasy. Now Chris is gonna let this dry while he mails used cat litter to the Toledo Painters Guild. Oh, hell yeah. It's that time. Time to mask like a real man. With silly putty. Press this almost up to the edges to get adhesion started, then simply apply pressure around the edges till it reaches the gap where the cushion ends. This shit is so great. If you push it too far, just use a toothpick to pull it back. Perfect. Now time to paint the most ornate facade I've ever seen on a human toilet. Look at all this detail. It's crazy. It like tells the whole backstory of Dr. Doom. Speaking of backstory, did you know? Long before Dr. Doom was the video game hero we all know and love, he was a rapper. And before that, he was a super villain. Yet another one of the hundreds of characters created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Some fun facts about the character are, he wears a mask because he is bashful about a boo-boo he has on his face. His powers are not derived from any form of radiation. I know, weird, right? Well, what powers does he have? Well, I'm glad you asked. Dr. Doom's power is, he's a jealous smarty pants, and he uses his mastery of both science and sorcery to prove his intellectual superiority over Mr. Fantastic. I love it. Moving on, Chris is gonna dry brush more Sigmarite onto this whole chair. There's so many raised details that are gonna pop. Just look at that horsey. And just a friendly reminder, 99% of my subscribers haven't even subscribed yet.
What the fuck?
All right, the toilet throne chair thing is almost done. Is it gold? Is it wood? No one knows, no one cares. Did you see the neat horsey though? Now it's time for the man of the hour, Big Vic. And first we're gonna paint his eye sockets, the only visible skin on this model. This way Chris can just plug these with silly putty and go nuts on the armor and hood and stuff. Now for the good doctor's magical armor, Chris is gonna use oily steel and cover every part, specifically so the shadowed areas have a metallic finish. You can go light or heavy here, whatever feels appropriately doomy to you. Stupid-ass Glenn would probably go heavy. Do with that information what you will. Then follow that up with Chris's favorite, gunmetal, for all the upward-facing surfaces, just to get a basic highlight and some tonal variation. This is also a great time to clog your airbrush. Who doesn't like stopping what they're doing to break down an airbrush? Clean each part, reassemble it, forget to press record and paint all the rest of the armor. Now that that's done, let's paint all the green parts. Notice Chris has masked the mask. We want this to be relatively muted, meaning not very vibrant. So Chris has thinned it way down and is applying it from the top, since that is where light would be coming from. That's where we want it the most saturated. You can see here that Chris has masked the armored parts of the torso, again inappropriately using silly putty in the heterodox fashion that led to his banishment from the Toledo Painters Guild. His flagrant and arguably excessive use of such heretical techniques on this particular model could very well be driven by his growing army of handsome genius patrons. Behold! Stand and salute these mighty soldiers, these uncorruptible crusaders, united on this righteous campaign. Just look at them all. Abandon your ways, Guild. We are Legion. Jim, you have survived the trials and are now anointed into this indestructible brotherhood of shared purpose, along with your brothers in arms, Jaden and Josh. Little weird all their names start with J. Just a couple bits of green cloth left to paint on the base and toilet, then we can start wrapping up all the fiddly details. And stay tuned, I have another heretical technique to show you. You're gonna love it. Stupid-ass Glenn is gonna hate it. Just as before, Chris is painting from the top down to preserve some shadows on the folds. All right, nerds, once again, bear witness to the true power of silly putty. Magnificent. This dark sorcery is rightfully feared by the Guild. I dare not imagine what would happen if such power were to fall into the wrong hands. The base is now complete. Time for the details. First, Chris is going to apply some skeleton horde contrast paint to enhance the definition of the creases within the eye sockets. Notice how he wicks away the excess and wipes it on his glove. You don't really want this stuff pooling, you just want it in the creases. Now for the belt, Chris will use trusty old Cygor Brown. It's such a versatile paint. It has exceptional coverage, and using it as your base color, you can simulate all types of leather by dry brushing any number of lighter colors on top of it. There's two types of people in the world: people who paint their belts with Cygor Brown, and Glenn. Fuck you, Glenn. Now Chris is going to use Nuln Oil and apply a pretty heavy wash to all the armor pieces. Get it everywhere, like really slop it on. Pooling doesn't even really matter considering the next forbidden step. When applying washes like this, it's helpful to end your strokes where you would like the paint to be heaviest. Chris really wants to make sure this stuff settles in the recesses. Be careful around the eyes. Now, the use of the following product resulted in a schism within the Toledo Painters Guild. Its name cannot even be uttered for fear of awakening the darkness imprisoned deep beneath the guild. But it can be found at Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Home Depot, and among the wares of unscrupulous wandering traders anywhere outside the Toledo metro area. To unleash its power, simply rub a tiny amount between your fingers, then rub your newly enchanted fingers onto whatever surface you wish to imbue with its magical metallic properties. You can re-anoint your fingers as needed to achieve the luster that's pleasing to you. That's it, your parts are now sanctified. Just set them aside to dry. Then, and this part's important, go wash your hands before handling the rest of your model. Now let's finish the belt. Chris is going to stupidly start with the gold before he dry brushes the leather because, and I've said it before, Chris is kind of a dummy. For the larger surfaces, he uses the pen itself. Then he pumps a little onto his palette and uses a brush to get to the hard-to-reach areas. And now, since he did the gold first, he must use a small Artis Opus dry brush to weather the belt. This will be harder and take longer. So I recommend not doing what Chris did and do it the smart way. For Big Vic's Cuban link chains, Chris will base them in Cygor Brown, then carefully paint each link with the same gold we used for the belt. Yeah, it's tedious, but it will look better than just brushing over the whole chain. Oh snap, I almost forgot! In order for Chris to unleash his righteous fury upon the Toledo Painters Guild, he must get this channel monetized. To that end, he is giving away this hand-painted Devil Man print from his first video. All you have to do to enter is like and subscribe and leave a comment on this video. When Chris hits 100 subscribers, a winner will be chosen at random from the comments, and Chris will personally reach out to get your details and ship it off to you. The winner will be announced in the following video. So tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your crazy ex you haven't talked to since high school. Share this video far and wide. Only together can we defeat the Toledo Painters Guild. We're nearly done. All that's left is the eyes. As usual, we're starting with an off-white for the sclera, save pure white for the highlight. One of these days, Chris might figure out how to position his camera so you can actually see what he is doing when he paints eyes. Now he's going to block in the iris with black. This part is tricky. You want both the eyes to be the same size and looking the same direction. It takes patience and a steady hand. Two things Chris should work on. I mean, obviously in addition to his other countless shortcomings. God, there's so many. Doom has brown eyes, so Chris is gonna carefully paint that along the bottom of the black he just painted. This will help him dial in where the pupil goes. Not too bad. I've certainly seen him do worse. Then it's just a matter of placing the pupil without screwing it up and taking the tiniest bit of white and adding the highlight. All right, guys, I think it's done. Behold!
Look at that chair. Doom. Look at that chair. Chair.
All right, I'm gonna go now. Subscribe. Fuckers!
You know, just look at that shelf candy.